My name's Zac Dingee. I run a solar sales company here in New York State, and I've been knocking on doors for 8 years. Now today, we're gonna talk about the best neighborhoods or best areas to sell something door to door in. And the 6 different neighborhoods we're gonna rank today are the Hood, gated communities, big neighborhoods, raised ranches, country roads, and brand new builds. I've been knocking on doors now for almost 8 years. I've probably personally knocked on over 10,000 doors, and my team as a whole has probably hit upwards of 100,000 doors. I've knocked a lot all over the country. I've knocked in Florida, Ohio, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Texas, Arizona, all different places. But I'm gonna rank these 6 different neighborhoods and where is the best place to make money. The first place I'm gonna rank is big neighborhoods. So I think this is like the common thing to do when you're new or you're training someone, or when you just get into the position of door to door. You go and you look up on a map and you look for the most houses you could possibly find. Like I'm talking 500 plus house neighborhoods where you go and you can spend 2 weeks in the neighborhood before you hit every single door. I actually think that is a horrible place to knock. I think every door-to-door company, pest control, alarms, solar, roofing, they've been hit by everyone in those big neighborhoods. So I remember my first time, it's actually very close to this office now that we're in now, over in Fishkill. My first ever time knocking was in a big neighborhood over in Fishkill. The guy who was training me brought me out. And I remember having 30, 35 conversations and getting almost nothing. If you've been in solar a while now, you know that's a good first day, because when you see someone get kicked in the teeth a lot and have a lot of rejection, you realize very fast, oh wow, this isn't actually as easy as I thought it was. I have to get really good fast. So it was really good for me on my first day. We went to a big neighborhood over here. We knocked on like 30 doors and you got absolutely nothing. And it taught me that you got to get good fast to be good at this job. So big neighborhoods actually suck. They're not as good as you think. Yeah, there's a lot of volume, but they've also been knocked a crap ton. So maybe a decent place to train, but I would not recommend big neighborhoods, F tier. The next one we're gonna rank is the Hood. Okay, so this one can kind of go either way. Knocking in the Hood, you're gonna get a lot of fun stories, a lot of crazy people. So people are very susceptible to saving money. They do wanna listen to you. On top of that, they're usually surprisingly pretty friendly to you knocking on their door. It's like the white collar people that think less of you and so they talk down on you. The Hood, they're usually pretty cool in the Hood and you can actually have good conversations. You just might run into a lot of failed credits. Knocking in the Hood, you'll get a lot of crazy stories. One time I was knocking in the Hood in Poughkeepsie, and when I knocked on the door, the lady screamed for me at the top of, literally at like the top of her lungs from the window. She's like, "What do you want?" I said, I'm just selling good looks, charm, and personality, ma'am. Do you want to come outside? I'll tell you a little bit more about it. She's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Ma'am, I got to talk to you. Can you come down to the door?" She's like, "I'm coming." She came down. She was all hot at first, all upset with me. And then like 5 minutes later, I was in her house. She made me a coffee and we sat down, and lo and behold, I ran the entire presentation and she failed credit, which you probably would have expected. But people in the Hood are so susceptible to like let you in and just hang out and talk to you all day. Probably because they don't have anything going on. They don't have jobs, but at least you could sit there and talk to them for a while. I'm gonna rank the Hood at a B tier. The next one we're gonna rank is gated communities. So this is like the big houses you go into and they got, 5, 6 bedrooms, white collar people, they have great jobs, they make good money. Big neighborhoods, they don't like to save money. They look down on you when they're on their doors. Most of the time, you're not gonna speak to the decision maker during the day because the husband's away at work, and so you're speaking to the wife, and the common objection you're gonna hear in that neighborhood is, "Oh, you have to talk to my husband," and that obviously doesn't really help your sales too much. So I think gated communities look really nice. They're sometimes great to knock because you're in a good area, but they're the most susceptible to call the cops. They always call the cops on you. They're gonna talk down on you because they hate door-to-door salespeople, and you're probably not gonna talk to the decision maker. So gated communities, I think, are a C tier. They're not that great. Next one we're gonna rank is brand new construction builds. This is probably the most elite spot to knock. I think brand new construction is such a phenomenal place to knock on doors. They're all brand new homeowners. They've only been there for a couple years. And so usually they're very young. They have young kids. It might be their first home. They have brand new roofs, so it's very easy to qualify them. They have brand new electrical. Everything in the house is brand new and is going to work efficiently. On top of that, the homeowners are going to be young and they can afford a house. They have good credit. They have all the things that you need to pre-qualify them before you even get to the process, right? So that makes them phenomenal. And then the last part to those neighborhoods is typically the people are very nice. They haven't been knocked on a lot because they're brand new neighborhoods. And so you can usually have really good conversations with them. And then I will specifically talk to the homeowner and create my pitch as if like, yeah, they have us out here because these are all brand new construction builds. So they haven't really had anyone come out here and talk to you yet. And so I'll cater my pitch to the fact that they're a brand new build. And that always works like perfectly. So brand new construction is the most elite doors to knock on. Absolute S tier. Next one on the list is country roads. What do I mean by this? Country roads is like I'm driving on back roads and I'm driving, I'm pulling into people's driveways. I'm not actually parking my car and walking like I might do in a neighborhood. I'm driving up a side road and then I'm pulling into a long driveway and I'm walking up to go knock it. And then I back out of the driveway, I go to the next one and knock that door. The only problem with country roads is it takes a lot more time. It's not time efficient like going door to door in a neighborhood. However, most of those doors do not get knocked on. So that's kind of been my bread and butter my whole career, is I get in the car and I drive door to door. I do not get out and walk, which is very common in door to door. I actually drive on side roads. I get out of the car, I walk up to the house and I act like I'm supposed to be there. When they look out the window, they're like, who is this guy? Why is this guy coming to my door? Do I know this guy? Instead of when you're coming up to the door in a neighborhood, they're like, oh my God, this is a sales guy. They immediately know it. So country knocking is a great way to kind of break up your day. And it's a great way to talk to people who have never been talked to before. And so you usually can get really good conversations in. And that's why I rank it as an A tier. Last one is the raised ranch. So this isn't necessarily a neighborhood, but this is this is the thing I'm looking for, is a raised ranch. Raised ranches is a style of house. It's like the 2-level, the most common looking house. The reason I look for those is because the roofs are very flat and even. You know that they can fit panels, you know that the roof is nice and open and flat, and you don't have to worry about all the kind of breaks in the roof or it not facing in the right direction or anything along those lines. So I love knocking raised ranch neighborhoods because it's very cookie cutter. You know, when you walk in, there's a road going this way and all the houses are facing south on this side. I don't have to check and see which direction I'm facing or where they're gonna go because they're all built in a line this way and they're all facing the same way with the exact same style roof. So typically those are like the older neighborhoods. You don't really see a lot of raised ranches built like cookie cutter anymore. People want variety now, but houses built in like the 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, those neighborhoods are typically raised ranch, cookie cutter, easy houses to knock on. And I'm gonna rank those in an A tier because there's almost nothing wrong with them. The only reason they're not S tier is because you never really know because they're typically older style houses. So sometimes you can run into electrical problems or roof problems with qualifying them. But anyway, those are ranking the best neighborhoods to knock on doors in. If you've knocked on doors for a long time and you disagree, please comment below and let me know. This is all really based on New York. Everywhere I know is different. Like I knocked in Florida. Every house in Florida is a good house because they get so much sun. In New York, we have to be very, very specific because New York is very strict with electrical codes and we don't get that much sun. So we have to make sure that we have really efficient roofs and houses. If you have any crazy stories of knocking on doors and people saying crazy things to you or pulling guns or all that, comment below and let me know what they are. I've had a gun pulled on me twice in my career. I've had people answer the door naked. I've walked up to the door and I hear people having sex in the house. I've been cursed out more times than I can count and told no, literally thousands of times. But I want to hear your stories and what kind of crazy ones you got. So comment below and let me know what kind of stories you got.